we can did. So today topic is DBMS. So what is DBMS? So this is the first session, guys, we have. So what is DBMS? So the full name is Database Management System. So what it does? So it is used to manage the data inside the database. Inside the database. So normally ఎందుకు యూస్ చేస్తామంటే DBMS. సో ఇది మేనేజ్ చేస్తుంది డేటా అనేది. సో ఎక్కడ ఇన్ డేటాబేస్ ఇన్సైడ్ ద డేటాబేస్ ఇట్ కెన్ మేనేజ్. ఓకే. సో వాట్ ఈస్ DB? ఈస్ used to manage the data inside the database. Okay, DBMS, database management system, and DBMS is clearly explain how to insert the data and how to retrieve from the database. Means how to insert the data and how to retrieve from the database. So retrieval means getting the data, and inserting means we are putting the data. That's about DBM. So it is nothing but managing the database. So how to insert the data and how to retrieve the data. That's what this DBMS is dealing for us. Okay. And there is a further concept called RDBMS we have. There is one more concept called RDBMS. So this is DBMS. So what DBMS do? How to insert the data, how to retrieval from the database. So we have a concept called RDBMS. This is one more. From creation to insertion. Somewhat more advanced when compared to DBMS. So here in RDBMS, we can create table with schema. Schema is nothing but database. Schema. Okay. And it also helps this DBMS. DBMS also help in the reduction of redundancy data. So what is mean by redundancy? Means duplicate data. Is it not allowed to enter the duplicate data? Okay, redundancy. And the reservation of database. So we'll see the some differences between DBMS and DBMS. So why these are, see, basic concepts in any SQL. If you want to learn MS SQL server, MySQL or Oracle, PLSQL, these are all the basic concepts are common. So first you need to learn one concept. So get to know about these concepts before entering into the articles. Okay. So difference between DBMS and RDBMS is very important. Okay. Difference between DBMS or DBMS2 and what RDBMS2. So first point, data elements need to access individually. Okay. Data element need to access individually. And RDBMS. Multiple data elements can be accessed at the same time. Multiple. ఇక్కడ multiple data element can be accessed at the same time. So we can access one database, can access only one person, right? So it is not possible to access multiple person from the work. But in case of RDBMS, you can access multiple person can access even single database. Okay, that is the basic difference. DBMS and RDBMS. So RDBMS we cannot access at a single time. One person can access one time. Then after RDBMS, we can access multiple person can access 1 DB at a time. And second point, no relation. No relation between the data. Okay. Coming to RDBMS. No relation between the data. Coming to RDBMS. Data is stored in the form of tables. Data is stored which are related to each other or in the form of tables which are related to each other. Got it? But there is no relation between the data while you are working in the DBMS tool. But it should have relation between the data between the tables while you are working in the RDBMS tools. Okay. The next one. So normalization is not required. Normalization is not required. So here normalization is required here. normalization is required here. So మీకు ఒక ఇది రావచ్చు. So what is normalization or DBM? So normalization is the process of organizing the data in a relation database to reduce data redundancy. Already we discussed, right? So normalization. So there is a we discussed before. So here RDBMS what it can do. So RDBMS also help in reduction of redundancy. So means here it can tell. So by using normalization, we can eliminate the duplicate data and improve the data integrity. And also it involves dividing large complex table into a smaller relation tables and defining relations between them using a primary key and foreign key. So we have a keys. In the future classes, we are going to learn those keys as well, how much important those keys. Okay. So normally why normalization is required? So eliminate redundancy data and improve data integrity easier maintenance. So now you know how to build a relation between one table to another table. Okay. So more complex no. So table chudanga you can understand what that this table is. What is for this table we are using. And fourth point, DBMS. So DBMS does not support distributed database. Distributed database. So here it supports. So it support distributed. So this is about the RDBMS and DBMS. So hope everyone should understood. So if you have any doubts on this, you can comment below the video. I have some. Okay. If you have questions, so comment it. I reply back to you. Nice. Okay. Okay. So next. So we'll see what are the different types of tools in the market by using as of now. So what are the tools we are using? Some tools we can see. So here SQL Server. This is one tool. MySQL and Postgres SQL and Oracle database. So and IBM DB2. So these are the most common tools we are going to use. So these are the very much popular RDBMS tools in market. Now we are going to work and see with practicals in MySQL. Okay, this one. So most of the common SQL commands are same like in MySQL. other DBMS too. There is some differences. So some differences are that there is little much. See, if you know one skill, you can migrate it easily. No problem. Okay, here we are going to learn MySQL. Okay. Okay. So, so what is SQL? Okay. So what is SQL? So structure query language. The full name is structure query structured query language. What is the importance of SQL? So even though we are 21st century, so what is the importance of SQL? So even though we are in 21st century, this SQL is not a modern language. Is it? It is traditional language. So IBM is founded in 1970s itself. So even though we have in 21st language, there are multiple languages are there in between Java and Python. So C++, even though SQL does not reduce its importance. So every organization, every software organization should maintain SQL. There are some SQL developers and SQL administrators. Okay. So 40% of software companies, 50, regularly they are using SQL. So that real time I'm telling. Okay. So this is the real scenario actually. SQL is its own important. It does not decrease. So what is the use of this SQL? So what is the use of this SQL? So actually the use of data, uh, what is the so if you want to access the database, if you want to access the database, and if you want to manipulate the database, manipulate the data inside the DB. Access is nothing but a read. Manipulate the data, you can use the SQL language. So there is a CRUD operations we have. CRUD. So CRUD means create, read, update, and delete. Okay, CRUD operation. If you want to do all these things, you need to know SQL. You need to learn SQL. Have to learn. So so what is general definition of database? Normally, we are going to learn DB, right? So we should know. So database is used to collect the data. So we are collecting the data from different places, stored it in one place. Okay. So at that time, we are storing it one place in the database. We can store it one place. That is called database. So one database can contain many tables. This is very, very important. One database can contain many tables. Suppose database. My database name called test. Okay. So I use it to test. Oh. So this is test. So within this test, I have some tables. Tables. Student and product table we have, and so different tables we have. Last one, employee table. So this database can contain any table. So you cannot create any table without database. This is one important point. Okay. So inside the table, we use it to store the data. Suppose this is a employee. So inside this table, we use to store the data. Suppose how to do. So this is employee table, right? If I want to store the data in the form of different columns and attributes, employee ID, employee name, employee salary. For example, if I use to store EMP ID, EMP name, EMP salary, EMP salary. This is the columns I have. EMP address. And also we have EMP join date. So all these different forms of the data. So all these are different forms of the data that we are in collected. So those data is stored inside the employee table. Employee table. Okay. Where this employee table is there within the database test. Different. Okay. So we can collect the data from different sources and we stored it in one place. That means one database you can see. Without database, you cannot create a table. So one database can have multiple tables. Oh, hope everyone clear now. If you have any doubts, you can comment it down. I try to reply back to you. So if you want to get the If you want to get the employee data inside the employee table, sorry, yeah, that's it. So you have to learn SQL. So SQL is mainly used for to get the data and all, manipulate the data and all. So mainly meant for the structure language, the data that is stored in the SQL in the tables in the form of rows and columns. That's it. So what is the SQL language? How we can access, how can manipulate the data inside the table by using SQL language can use some commands. SQL, some of commands are there. We have commands, SQL commands. So how to those to SQL? By using these commands. So, so we can do all these operations based on these SQL commands. So there are three different types of commands. Sorry, four. First one is DDL, DD, and second one is DML and DCL, and next TCL. So SQL commands. So DDL is nothing but data definition language. So DDL, data definition language. So DDL. So create one command, alter one command, truncate one command, and drop and rename. So create command will use to create database, as well as create command use to create the table. Now once after creating your table, so if you want to change of the names of column, so suppose I want to change the name of the column. This employee ID is ID. So employee ID to ID. So you can use the alter command to change it. So if it is employee, now I want to change it ID. That's it. So then you can use the alter command. So truncate. Truncate is used to delete the data from the table. Drop means it dropping the table entire. Okay, truncate is deleting the data from the table. Dropping the table. So entire table is dropping. So if suppose if I am applying the drop command, the student table or any employee table, it will permanently drop from this database test. So if you apply any drop command or any table, that means the table is permanently deleted from your database. So you cannot revoke and you cannot get back. So rename. If you want to change the any column name, you can rename it. or database. If you want to change the text to new text, you can change it. No problem. The name of the database. And okay. So this is about the data definition language. So next one, DML. So DML means data manipulate language. Data manipulate language. Data manipulation language. So next layer of command, data manipulation. So once after creating your table, employee table or any of table, so you need to insert the data. Insert the data. So for that, there is no commands called insert, right? So here in data manipulation language, we have that insert, insert the data, update, update the data, delete the data, and select. So by using insert, you can the table you have to insert the data by using data manipulation language. So DML language command. So the form of the employee ID, employee name, employee design data you have to change this and update the employee or address of the employee. Then you can use the update command to change the address or salary. So update will change the value of the existing table to the new value. Okay. Update will change the value of the existing table of the value. And delete. Delete if you want to delete the any employee from the employee table. You can use the delete command. And select. And select. So read the data or whatever the data inside the table. If you want to read the data, then you can use the select command. Okay. So these are the commands, data manipulation language, second layer. So coming to DCL, DTL, DCL, data control language. So data control language. Grant, revoke. So commonly these grant and revoke mostly used by the database administrators, not developers or analysts in a if any organization. So first, if you want to join in any organization, so you have to grant permission to access the database. So you have to give the permissions on your ID to access any particular database. Suppose I want to, so I was joining a new organization. So I need access rights, right? First of all. So I'm a fresher. I'm joining the new organization. So first of all, I need to get all access from whatever the database there. So I need to get those accesses. So then I tell to someone who is access these, who is given to access to us. So I give it to my information or ID. Then he provided access to that particular database. So once you get the access of database, then you can do these all things, DDL and DML. Okay. So grant and revoke are basically used by the database administrators. Revoke means take back the take back the giving permission. Suppose before I am a freshers, right? So whenever I am uh, put in my resignation, they're removing my access rights, right? So then they're revoking my access rights. So leaving the company at the time, whatever the permissions already existing on that template, they will check and take back to that permissions during the revoke command. So clear, that is. And last one, last layer, transact control language. So transact language, transact control language. So here we see commit and roll back. So these two, commit and roll back. So these commands. So these are the high level commands. The time of using the store processor, all those. So before writing the before executing the code, you need to give the commit. So commit command to execute all your code. So if you found any mistake at the time of the execution, you can roll back by using the rollback. So these two commands are comes under transact control language. That is nothing but this. So among these four layers of commands, last two basically either by the using database administrators, and first two are important to being a developer or being an analyst. So this is about the commands. So learning these commands, you can access the DB, you can doing whatever the task you need to do. Okay. The data, you can manipulate the data inside the database. So that's it today, guys. So if you have any comment doubts on that, you can comment the below. I reply back. I try to. Okay. Please watch and subscribe my channel. Thanks.